Instagram, I've been doing 30 days of handmade holidays, which means I do a new project every single day. But sometimes, because you have to do short videos on Instagram, it's not always the best place to show off how to do in-depth tutorials. So today I'm going to share 3 projects that were inspired by some of my Instagram posts, but I think you'll like them because they're all Christmas tree ornaments and they're perfect for the holiday. Hey there, if you're new around here, I'm Gina. It's nice to meet you. Today I'm joining up with a few of my friends, Jane Belante from Jane Belante Art, Lindy Tate from Taterbuggin, Amy Sadler from Amy Sadler Designs, and Joni from Weathered Wings Art. And we are all sharing Christmas ornaments, so make sure that you check all of them out. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the bells and buttons. Do the YouTube stuff, you know what to do. So let's get into the projects for today. For the first one, we're going to use a 5x5 book page, and you are going to fold it in half lengthways, and then this side that's open, you're going to take it and go in 1/3 of the way to this and fold it this way, like so. Once you have that part done, you are going to fold in here, like so. You're going to fold this way, and then you are going to back fold this way to have it like so. Once you have that part done, this tip right here, I am going to go from this tip towards the center away from the cut. So you're going to cut off all this excess, and then once you open it up, you'll have a paper star. Fold the points out and the inside corners in, the outs, the ends in, and then once you get it done, you will have a 3D star. You can do this with any size paper. I did this with 5x5 for this particular star, but you could do this with as big as you want, up to 18x18. You could even do this with cardstock, and you could just punch you a little hole and string it up, and that is ornament number 1. Okay, for this project, you're going to need 5 sheets of paper. These are 5.5 by 5.5. These are just book pages. Once again, all of these projects are book page projects. And you're going to fold all 5 of these the same way. I'm going to show you the first one, and then I'll speed through the other 5. So, here's how you do it. You want to start by folding on the angle, like so. You're going to fold like that and fold all the way down. Once you have that center crease, then you're going to turn in from the corner. Do it on both sides so that it almost makes like a kite shape. Think like a kite. Okay. And then once you have your little kite shape done, so it kind of looks like this, right? To have that part done, then this part here, you're going to fold it down just like so to make yourself a triangle. If you fold this like this, if you give this little fold, it'll make it easier for you in the long run. But these tips right here on the ends of these corners, we're going to fold in on both sides, just like so. Once you have these tips folded in, you're going to open it back up, and this little square right here, put you some hot glue, then fold these back down to secure it, and then let that cool. And then it will pop up to make this almost like a scoop. Kind of reminds you of a little swoopy scoop, right? But then we're going to flatten it like so. So it goes from this to this, and then we're going to flatten them before we do the next step. So I'm going to make the other 4 of these, and I'll speed that up so that you can watch me do those. now that I have all 5 of these done, I'm going to flatten them all to where it's like a triangle like so. And if you can see this triangle right here, we're going to put glue just here on the triangles, and then we're going to do them flat and stack them up as we go. So we'll just do a triangle as close to the tip as you can get it. You really want it pretty good and secure, because this is what's going to hold your papers all together. Flatten another piece and then line it up, and you have just a second, because you have hot glue, because you're using hot glue. You have a second to kind of make sure that it's pretty well lined up, and then we'll move on. This would look really pretty if you did it with some heavier cardstock as well, and then you could use it for your tree topper. I mean, this is pretty sturdy because it's multiple sheets put together. You'll see how sturdy it is once it's done, but this would be a really, really pretty tree topper once you're finished. All right, so give that a second to cool. Now that I feel like that's pretty good, I'm going to do right here, actually I'm going to do this part. I'm going to do the same thing, so you can kind of see where that triangle is. Make sure that I get it really, really well all the way. Pretty good. And then you can even put a little bit of glue here in the center to help really, really hold it together well. Then we are going to fold it like that and then press it together really well. That glue that you put in the center core is going to give it a little more strength. That's it. That's the first one done. Pretty easy. Just takes a little, or that's the second one done actually. So this one is much bigger. So if this is our first guy, this is our second guy. All right, for the third one, we're actually going to do a flower. You can think of it as a star if you want to. You could, but we're going to do it as a flower. And so to start off for the third one and the final one, I'm going to use some watercolor. I like to do this. You could do it without the watercolor part, but I do love watercolor. And by the way, you can use watercolor on any of these others as well. You're just going to take some watercolor and color your book pages with some watercolor paint and let it dry. This particular project, this is a poinsettia. I did this on my Instagram account. If you don't follow me over there, you should check it out. I did it over on my Instagram account, and I got a ton of people asking me to share a slower version so that you guys could follow along easier. So that's what I'm doing this one for. Once you've colored your paper with your watercolor, I'm going to set that one aside and grab another one that I've already done. Once it's dry, this is where we're going to fold it up to make our ornament. Here's what you're going to do. First, you are going to fold it lengthwise, like so, just like so. And then we're going to fold it widthwise. We're going to fold it in half this way, however you want to call it. Fold it in half this way. Now, each one of these halves, each one of these parts, we are going to fold into thirds. So essentially it'll go down, come back up, and go back down again. I just kind of accordion it till I get it even, and then once I have it even, I smush it flat with my fingers. And now I know how to judge it from the other side. So after I did the accordion on the first half, on this half, I just made this half match it to where it's basically 3 consecutive folds, like so. Folded edge here, outside edge here, and I'm going to cut up towards the outside ends. So go up maybe an inch or so, and then cut on an angle upward, so that essentially I'm gonna get 3 like diamond shapes back to back to back. Now we're gonna take each half and we're going to fold it in thirds again. So the first one is kind of the same way. You kind of accordion fold it. And you're going to have to kind of judge. But once you have the first fold, the others get much easier because you can judge it off of it. So this is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and this is half of that accordion fold. So you're going to fold each one into thirds where it goes in, and then it comes back out, in, out, all the way down to where each half of the diamond, so in each diamond it's going to have 2 sets of 3, 2 sets of 3, all the way down. And like I said, once you have the first one done, you can kind of judge it off of that. It gets a lot easier because you've already got that initial fold. You can just kind of go off of that. It does not have to be perfect. As close as you can get it is great, but if it's a little off, it's not going to be the end of the world. Alright, once you have this part done, once you get this part done, you're going to need a stapler. Each half of the diamond is folded into thirds. Thirds, thirds, thirds. So you have a half pleat between each one. Like so. Can you see that? Alright, now I'm going to fold it back up. And where that center line is there in the center, that center fold originally that I did in the beginning, I'm going to staple right through that. Try to line it up as close as I can to the center. Alright, here's the other part. You're going to need a little bit of string. I'm going to use some red and white baker's twine for this one. And you're going to need your glue. So, a little bit of hot glue. Just a little dab right there on that end. I'm going to put my string inside of there. And then I'm going to fold it up. And that's looking pretty good. Let's have that all glued together. And I'm going to do the other side. And I'm just going to put a little bit more hot glue. And then fold it back up. Just kind of mush it until you get it around there. And of course you can fix your folds. It'll feel a little wonky till you kind of get it, the glue to hold, and you get it the way that you want it. You can fluff those edges out. But now you have like a poinsettia, right? But they look far better with a center in them. So I'm going to use one of these little half wooden beads. It's a bead that's like half cut, so it doesn't have a hole, it has a flat back. But this could not be simpler, because I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and then pop that right on top, and now you have a poinsettia. You have a little ornament, and that's 3 easy book page ornaments. You have this size. Of course you have this size, and then of course we have the big star that you can put on the top. So tell me below which one is your favorite. If you enjoyed this project, make sure that you do the YouTube stuff, but also you can join me for more ideas over on my Instagram at the Shabby Creek Cottage. I would love to see you there. Thanks for watching.